Yeah, you're right. My name is Tom, and I'm from Beat Freaks, and welcome to our first Poetry Jam online. Make some noise wherever you are. It's just me. We've got some performers in the place. Do you want to quickly unmute your mics just so that people feel a bit of presence and just make some noise quick as you can? Yeah, that's not how I thought it would go. To be fair, you can mute it back. We'll try and get it better next time. But yeah, as I said, I'm Tom. I'm head of community at Beat Freaks. You don't have to worry too much about what that means, but basically, I'm here to make sure that you have a great evening, and we've got some amazing acts and performers going on. Just before we get into that, I'm going to tell you about a few things. Firstly, what is Poetry Jam? Some of you might have been given a link and just said, here you go, just watch it. You've got nothing better to do. You're not going out anywhere, so you might as well watch it. Poetry Jam started from conversations. It started from a conversation from our founder, Anissa, and it's her birthday today as well, big 30. Big shout out to her. So she started with some conversations. She had conversations with young people who were asking, where are the opportunities? How do we get plugged better into opportunity for development? We are creatives. We want to get plugged in to more things. And then another side of the conversation, she was having talks with people from business backgrounds, and they were asking, where are the young people? Where are they? We've got things for them. We want to engage with them. We want to speak to them. We don't know where they are. And it was two worlds that wanted to connect with each other but didn't know how. And what Anissa did, she decided, you know what, let's create a neutral ground. We're going to put something on in a business industry kind of area in a coffee shop. And that's where Poetry Jam was formed. It's a chance for young people to express themselves through creativity and actually have a voice in the city. That has grown from strength to strength, and we are 7 years in. So this is amazing stuff. Tonight, we are here today. We do not let the physical space and travel and transport block us. We want to make sure that we can continue to be that voice, not only for Birmingham, but now internationally, wherever you are. So just a few things. You are watching this live on YouTube. So if you want to share this out with people, if you want to tag us into anything, you can follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I can't remember on Snapchat. I think we're on TikTok, but it's just at Beat Freaks. That is BEATFREEKS. If you want to follow us as well and on those social media places, you can do that as well. If you are someone that really loves subtitles, if you watch Netflix, or you just think, you know, I like to see what's being said, you can just click on the captions button. It should say CC. Equally, Beat Freaks will be sharing some of the content that our poets will be and performers will be saying in their performance. If you miss anything, do not worry. We've got you. We're sorting you out. Just before we start, I just wanted to say a little disclaimer. So each poet will perform up to 1 to 2 poems. That should be up to about 6 minutes max. If you need to go to the toilet, you can do that. If you need to go and grab a quick lunch or dinner at this time, go and do that. That's your thing. One thing that I wanted to say as well is all our performers, their content, we promote free speech and we promote just people expressing themselves. So that may imply or may include more adult themes, more stuff that's maybe not child friendly as such. We try not to keep things graphic, but it's just allowing people not to be restrictive in what they say. So I'll remind that just a few times, just in case anyone pops in for that. But if everyone's okay, just settle themselves in. If you're in your PJs now, if you're having your dinner, just relax. We are going to be introducing our first act. If you're at home, make some noise. You can do a drum roll if you can. We want to introduce our first poet, and that is Micky Angel.
All right, what's going on, Poetry Jam? This whole coronavirus thing isn't going to hold us down. Okay, so first off, I want to say a massive happy birthday to the head of the whole Beat Freaks community, Anissa. I don't know where you are, Anissa, but where you are, happy birthdays from yours truly. So due to this whole coronavirus thing happening across the entire world, I haven't been able to write anything that much. So I figured I'd just go with the poem that I went for last month. Um, Before anyone asks, I want to leave this unfinished because it has like some sort of hidden magic, if you will. Hope you like it, and if you like what you hear, I'm on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all under the same name, Micky Angel. Other stuff as well, but I don't want to get into it. Okay, so it's called Who Am I? I am not someone who can be controlled. I am not someone who can be treated with respect. I'm someone who tries to be the best they can, but fails constantly. I'm someone who lets himself or people down. I feel like someone who shoots a bullet into the brain like a prepared avalanche crashing down onto the terrain that is my body, crushing my organs and suffocating my brain to shrivel up and worthless like a popped balloon. And people think they can try to help, and I fucking try to, but they don't hear my responses. Like I'm muffled and trapped in a box, being buried at the core of the earth, being cramped, and I constantly ask myself three questions. One, where did I go wrong? Two, what's the point of life and where to go next? Three, who or what am I? And these questions will never be answered because they always change. And I can't stop it because. Cheers.
Oh, are you finished?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, cool. That's a nice dramatic ending. Did you have another poem that you wanted to share, or do you want to ever think about it and come back?
Um, I think I'm gonna end with this one. It's a little
Right.
short one. So this one I made from week commencing Remembrance Day last year to the 18th. So that's the 11th of November to the 18th of November. It's called Creeping Dark. Creep, creak, creak, creak. Slump, 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 slump. As I fall deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, it follows. But unlike the movie, this is real. It wants to slice me open and watches my life fades away. Its knife-like fingers walk through my muscles, piercing my heart like a knife through butter, and I can't scream, I can't cry, because why should I? Who will listen to my cries for help? This is life. Cheers.
Cool. Thank you very much. Anyone else in the Hangouts, if you want to unmute your mic and just give a round of applause. Um,
Oi, oi.
as I just said that, I realised one of the biggest rules. Yeah, you can mute yourself now. That's enough. You're all good. You'll have your chance. Just as I was saying that, I forgot the fundamental rule of Poetry Jam. And if you feel something's really deep or you connect with something, rather than clapping, we just click, because it's just more saucy, it's more swavy, it's more, you feel it more. So if you hear something more deep, you can make some noise, but while you're going along as well, you can click away, get your snapping fingers ready, make sure your hands are creamed, just so you're not getting no friction or nothing like that. And if you're performing, make sure you're fresh and everything as well. So yeah, just in case anyone's just joined us right now, welcome to Poetry Jam Live. The hashtag as well is Lockdown Poetry Jam. We wanted to do something different and recognize the time that we are in. And yeah, it's really great that people can connect with each other and have a conversation. If you feel like you need a little break as well, why don't you go and just go for a little walk around the house? If that's just like 2 steps, that's fine. If you just need some fresh air, make sure you've done that one day exercise if you can, but also stay safe. We're going to get ready for our next performer. If you can do a drum roll wherever you are, I'll do one here, but I realise it's mashing up the camera. Can we make some noise for Percy, please?
Woo!
Um, Hi, yeah, my name's Percy, and the first poem I'm gonna be reading is called Tonight. And I cannot walk, my legs are too heavy. It's the most horrifying news. It's not my loss to weep over, but they don't, so I cry for those who won't feel tonight. I place two hands over the kitab and open its pages, but do I, a sinner, have the right to recite words from God tonight? I've taken the mantle from my ancestors and read words in front of others, but I shield my feelings in riddles. Can I really call myself a poet tonight? I've lost my earphones, must keep myself company, but the thoughts inside my head would sound much better drowned out by music tonight. And I've seen people wrap hirsis around their neck. All I can do is envy those who find solace in worldly things tonight. So that was the first one, and it's called Yeah Tonight. Um, this next one I wrote maybe a week and a bit ago, and it's called Loss. You can never explain the pain of loss. Grief whips you up in its waves, a whole flood of loss. Joy is something I was told I was not privy to. Sleepless nights taught me the true feeling of loss. I have never been on the verge of destruction like that day. That fear was then unknown. I now know to call it loss. They belied emotions, saying I cannot feel them. Yeah, what is it that keeps you awake at night? That unheard of is strongest of all. Its name is loss. And silence is also painful. To not know is the same as to not feel. I call them all loss. Even the blower of the horn, even the bringer of death shall take what is not theirs, shall leave but loss. Who protected? Protection from the well. Hirsi, unlike Yusuf, never returned to those who had felt loss. Yeah, and those are my two poems.
Thank you, Hersey. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Just snap away in your own space. That was really deep and really connected with that one. Just before we get ready for the next person, um, actually, I don't know what I'm going to say really. Let's see who we've got next. Why don't you turn to the person next to you and just ask them how they're doing? Um, okay, so can you make some noise as they get ready to unmute their mic for Namusa Akori?
Hi guys, my name is Nomsa. I'm going to read you two poems. The first poem is called Concrete Jungle. This poem is based on the reason why young people trap and commit the crimes they do. This is like from my research, watching documentaries and having these discussions with young people about this. So this is how it goes. I'm from the concrete jungle where survival is key or else you will fumble. When my trap line rings, I know it's time to sling. Time to get my money up the way I know how, desperately not trying to drown. To you, it may be a nightmare, but for me, this is reality right here. Last month's bills entwined with this month's bills. My mum cried for the fifth time this week, and I am weak. I can barely speak while she can barely breathe. Without thinking, the bailiffs are at our door. The government closed their door, and we live below the poverty line. This is my reality. I have to hustle before my whole world crumbles, before we become another statistic, before you put me on a stand and judge me in your court, before you decide I'm a criminal, a low life with no life. My hopes and dreams I fold to chase this dough, to produce this bread for my people to be fed. My dreams will forever be dreams when it's become a reality. I hustle the way I know how, the way I know how. I'm from the concrete jungle where survival is key, or else you will fumble. When my trap line rings, I know it's time to sling. That's my first poem. My next poem is called Poetry Is, which is a poem about what poetry means to me. Poetry is my medication that ease and soothes my pain. Poetry is my thoughts organized in one place, neatly folded up and packed away. Poetry is my hangover after a terrible night of drinking my sorrows away. Poetry is my best friend who listens and understands me. Poetry has never let me down, or forsaken me. Poetry loves me for me, loves me with all my flaws, promising to love me until the end. Poetry has a special place in my heart for now and forevermore. Poetry takes me to places I've never been, floating across the shores to a place where my heart belongs. Poetry makes me feel whole. Poetry makes me long for another day with it. It holds my hand and fights the battles I can't fight alone. Poetry has a special place in my heart for now and forevermore. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Give it up for Nomsa. That was really amazing. I'm not gonna lie, they do sound good, but it just sounds a bit weird at the same time when you're not there. Just before we get into the next person, I just want to tell you about a few things that Beat Freaks are getting or are doing at the moment. And if you're a young person, aged 16 to 30, in most cases, we have some opportunities for you. So if you want to respond and you're thinking, you know what, I've got a lot of time on my hands, I'm doing my work, hopefully, and but I've not got much things to do. I'm trying to get into some routine, or I need some inspiration. We have a few things that can help you connect. We realize that actually isolation can be a difficult time for people. So here's a few things that we do. So one thing that we offer is a small pot of funding called Fuel. That is a pot of money up to £500, and we give quick access to people via WhatsApp voice message. So if you want to find out a little bit more about that, you can follow us at beatfreaks.com, or you can email myself, Tom, at beatfreaks.com about the opportunity. You can check our website as well. But that is an opportunity to challenge and combat social issues. Obviously, a big thing at the moment is being stuck indoors, and actually, how can we support our communities and be a voice and be an act of change in that time? So it's really quick and easy to do. If you want some more information, why don't you speak to some people about it if you know they're already doing it, or you can at us at Beat Freaks and directly message about that. Another opportunity that we do have is every Wednesday evening we have something called Lates. So if you're somebody that's studying, or you've been working all day, or in fact you just need to connect with somebody, we hold a space and we put information out during the week about how you can connect with us. In the past, we've done a video conference chat where we've just had a chance to hang out, catch up with each other. Last week, or Wednesday just gone, sorry, we did Netflix party. So if you don't know what that is, it's a chance just for people to watch along anything on Netflix that we put on and just have a hangout and a chat. These are some really cool ways that you can connect. And it's not only just Beat Freaks that are doing that. Check out what's going on online. I know it's quite difficult to see the news all the time, but there are a lot of businesses, a lot of organizations, a lot of people trying to connect and provide a hub and a space for people. So definitely check that out as well. So as we get into our next performer, can we make some noise? Snap your fingers, twiddle your toes, all that stuff. Give your shoulders a little shimmy for Humza Dolvi. It's just gone back to me.
Suspenseful.
That's fine. What we will do, we're going to go to just the next person as we're just trying to sort that out. But can we make some noise? It does start with a H as well. Doesn't rhyme, but I'm sure this person will be really, really great. Their name is Hana Burroughs. Can we make some noise? Click your fingers, shake your shoulders, all that stuff for Hana.
Okay, hello. This is very surreal, but I like it. So these are two poems that I've written while in isolation. The first one is called Watermelon, and I was on a hangout with other people from Beat Freaks, and they all thought it was really weird that I was writing poems about watermelon and summer in isolation, but you know, we do what we need to do to cope. So yeah, this is about kind of like summer nostalgia, and just I really like watermelon basically. So let's go. Okay, so this is called Watermelon. That feeling, like trailing sticky kisses down from chin to sternum on the front step shade in the summer, as steady processions of ants make their way to the plate, pockmarked with dark pips, puddled with blushed water, our eyes and minds heat muddled. I want to make you watermelon juice with a squeeze of lime, the way my auntie used to remind me of the need for the bitter to bring out the sweetness. Finish it off with ice and mint, an extra slice sheathed on the edge of the cup to eat when you are done. To find that feeling like trailing sticky kisses down from chin to sternum, the soft resistance of tooth, the rind, the give before the giving in. That's the first one. Thanks, everyone. And this second one, I am on a chat with like I go to University of Birmingham, woo woo, and some of my friends from my course, we have a big group chat where we post poetry prompts every day. And the prompt a few days ago was rom-coms, and I've only watched like 3 rom-coms in my entire life, but I decided to challenge myself with this one and write about something that I don't quite understand. So this is my second poem, and it is called Rom-Com Heart. Neither of us like rom-coms, but I tell you I would kiss you at the foot of the Empire State on January 2nd, surrounded by tourists and jostled by selfie sticks. But I wouldn't mind. I would never notice. It would still be the perfect movie moment. My arms aren't strong, but no one uses boomboxes anymore anyway, so I would bring music to your window to show you that IKEA date song I kissed you to in the heaving dark of the electric ballroom. There's technically only 92 days of summer, but time flows differently when it's just the 2 of us, so call it 500 and I wouldn't notice any difference. You had me at your first awkward Starbucks order of peppermint tea and the way you smiled. So, hello. Would you like to be mine? I don't have a marching band to announce it, but I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you. I think I need you. And I don't remember how I breathed 2 years ago, but tonight I fill the air with cliches. You laugh and say, you would keep us afloat on a door over the freezing sea. Because let's be real, we both know there was room for both of them on there. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed that. And you know what, Hannah? I really like watermelons as well. People that know me, that meant something for me, you know. Like I think I would have had watermelon, but I think I might have changed it to maybe rice and peas or something, because I've been eating that quite a lot recently. So I might write my own version of that. So
Go
then
for it.
we can just cross-reference a
Go
little
for
bit.
it. Credit me on Rice and Peas, the poem. I can't wait.
Yeah, I probably won't, you know. But cool.
Thank you.
Just a few things, just as we move forward. So if you would like to take part in Poetry Jam, or if you want to catch us again, you could do a few things. One, it'd be great to receive some feedback, how it's going. It could be like, Tom, you're talking too much, and I could be like, that's fine, I don't give a toss. Or it can just be, hey, I'd love it to receive more update in advance, or anything that's running. We'd love to get some feedback. So if you can get in touch with us at Beat Freaks on Twitter or Instagram, we'd love to receive feedback. We meet up once a month. So Poetry Jam is the first Thursday of every month. So look in your calendar, whatever Thursday is the first one of that month, that is us. We are there. If we are here, we will send out some more information. So hopefully the week before, so you can keep updated on what's going on. If you want to follow us, or if you want to get more involved, you can join our community. So if you're 16 to 30, you can join our online community on our website and find out and keep more updated about these events. We're going to go to our next performer, and that is Ivana. Can we make some noise for Ivana, please?
Woo! 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 Come on. So the spoken word titled Strong Black Women. Verbalizing my opinions doesn't make me angry. Bare my white teeth, make sure my face forms a smile. I don't want you to hear, I don't want to hear you say, aggression manifests through the features from my ancestors. My darkness clouds your judgment, vision impaired so you cannot clearly see. If the shadow were to be lifted, light entering your perception, you would feel the weight of the heavy tears rolling down my cheeks and aim to comfort me. Pull this angry black woman near. Refuge in the strength I hold within this black soul, a gift from generations of people I did not have the privilege to know, but I knew my mother, who didn't teach me my ancestors' tongue and attempt to lighten my complexion, blend into the society living in stolen gold, independence gained only 63 years ago. Memoirs of pain started from the tight cornrows pulled in a ponytail that didn't flow. Mine stuck up, dependent on the positions I slept in last night. Even though I longed for the movement to show, qualifying me to be one of the girls the boys fancied, even if I didn't like the boys. I craved their validation, but they pointed at my African nose. The genesis of strength in this strong black woman originated in the failures of a black man. The power that lies in the assumed vulnerability of a woman is something my grandfather never understood. Collecting strength from my mother and the women before, pain transferred through the stories of these strong black women. I accepted the genes of your tainted being, learning to love the reflection of multiple rejections. Resilience was built in these strong bones, so when you see this black girl, run. A weapon of mass destruction, you were right to have something to fear. Pushing back her fro from a hairband cut from old tights, or a prickly head from the level 1 shave last night, her melanin is a shield, it's a privilege to be let in. I'm not a victim. I'm a strong black woman who cries and does not possess magic. I should show you my calloused hands and feet so you believe in my thick skin. Not immune to pain, but I harvest power you could never conceive. It was inevitable your psyche would react with fear. Sharing this information may oppose the concept of a strong black woman you were led to believe. But if you look behind the stage, you'll see me prepare my skin, moistured with shea butter, glistening. Start the scene, open the curtains. The strong black woman is here. Thank you.
You lot need to do the clip, you know. It's not about the clapping when it's this deep, you know. It's gonna be
Thank you.
let's get that mix in. Ivana, thank you so much. That was it was just so poetic and just it had me in a good trance, man. I was just listening to what you were saying and I was so captured. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was really beautiful. We've got some great feedback coming through so far. People are saying that they're loving the variety of the different poets and performers. So just big thank you for those who've signed up. If you just tuned in, sorry for those who've been with me from the start, but some people might have just been watching EastEnders and they just jumped in right now, or Emmerdale, we don't know. But welcome to Poetry Jam. And yeah, we've got a few more artists coming your way. We are going to do a clap for the NHS and carers at 8 o'clock. We're not exempt from giving honor and just kind of praise to those who are on the front line, who are keeping us safe. If we keep indoors, our amazing NHS and our workforce can do the job that they need to do. So what better ways to clap for them? So we're going to do that at 8 o'clock. So just make sure you have that set to your timer or whatever you need to do. Just know that people are going to be clapping, and if you hear it outside, it's probably also happening online as well. So just for our next performer, this person is a seasoned performer as well as most people here, and I'm sure he's going to bring something really different, bit of flavor a little bit of like that seasoning. Can we click our fingers for Bipolar Poet?
Didn't know I was next up. I thought there was like a few more people before me.
Well, are you good to go?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
Can you hear me properly?
I like your studio setting kind of thing. I feel like you're going to be dropping a hot 64 or something like that. Go for it.
No, actually, normally like I do this spoken word, and I kind of it's all about the performance and the flows. But I'm actually this time going to be sharing some of my page poetry for once. I'm gonna share one of my poems from the book that I'm working on as well, just to people can get the gist of that. This one's called The Fly. If all it took was Loki, in the form of a fly, to shorten Thor's hammer, if Freya was enough sight for hidden giants to build walls that gods had failed to, if the almighty Odin, sacrificing an eye for wisdom, hoped on 9 nights pierced open by a spear that he would attain those runes, if Hugin flew out to you, Munin would return to me, 2 ravens like flames. If I willingly accepted chains like Fenrir for his father, then let Ragnarok begin. For I am a fly, building walls from your sight, hoping, thinking, memorizing, chained. Now a wolf that is able to taste the moon, I await the morrow upon which you press the key against my order. That's the first one. And I'm just gonna go straight into the second one. The second one, this is a book I'm working on that's supposed to help people with stress and anxiety kind of just zone out into their work. Um, can you guys hear my daughters in the background? I don't know if you guys can hear that. They're like, nah? Okay, cool. This one's called The Fallen. Pitter patter purpose, fallen soldiers, each and every drop, cold, refreshing, yet tepid and ataraxic. As I onlook the narrow path ahead, embraced by the children of nature by their long and lenitive reach, walking, the leaves orate, they cautiously brush my cheeks, declaring the stories of all the souls who wandered lost, of all the pain and anguish that led them through this narrow forest walk. The rain pours and pours until the salt from my cheek would become quenchable had the sky not been replete of acid. Like 1,000 fingers flicking my skin, the rain seeps into white noise. And now my thoughts become tenuous. There is nothing but rain, as if the earth had designed the tears of the sky to fall with mine, as though in some benevolent tale I was the protagonist and this cold, lifeless, bleeding earth had felt my cries and responded. I pressed the grain of my skin against the now imbued stubborn oak. I remark at how I could have once been as this large plant has stood, referred to as or an analogy for behavioral patterns, though the patterns engraved into his chest are somewhat beautiful, complete with so many stories it had been pointless to count, almost as pointless as attempting to mold him. The misty morning dewdrop forest had brought me healing, escape, direction, and not a single one of the living organisms that I conversed with had uttered a single word. I am the forest. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Bipolar Poet, I just wanted to keep it on just for a quick second. I just wanted to I really like I really like your piece. I really liked it's something different that we haven't seen from you before, and we had some conversations before, and I remember you saying that just certain things have changed in how you approach stuff like that. And I thought it'd be good just for you to expand a little bit on that. So I know that you're on one of our programs called Bait, and I just thought you could talk a little bit about that and that change that maybe you're experiencing.
Yeah, so with me, like I always wrote like from a very young age. I was writing novels and all that stuff and a bit of poetry here and there. And I kind of like moved on to so many different things. But between all of that, I was always writing, but it was always just like a little side thing that I enjoyed. And so I went into the music genre of it, hip hop and grime, and r- doing music with my words and everything like that. And then left that for religious reasons. And then I was a photographer, and I kind of just pushed it all aside and was pursuing photography and videography and all of that stuff. And on this bait program, Roger Robinson, who is one of the mentors there, he basically just kind of said to me, stop wasting your time on all of these things that you're doing on the side that you want to do, like the photography and the comedy and the like. He was just like, what is it that you are? Like, think about what you are. And like after we had that conversation, I was just like, you know what? I am a writer, I'm a poet. That's what I do, and that's what I've always done, even throughout all of these different things that I've always done. This has stayed consistent from the beginning. And so now, it used to be just me going to poetry jam and just kind of vibing and showing off the wordsmith and flowing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But now I've like really trying to focus on page poetry, and I just feel it's so much more relaxing and calming. And I come from a background of mental illness, and so the type of poetry I try my best to write is poetry that can kind of help people just zone out and just lose themselves in the stories and in the poetry, and just kind of calm their nerves a little bit. And
Yeah.
that's my plan for this book. But that's what that change was. That change was just realizing that I'm a poet. That's who I am, and that's what I'm going to focus on, and that's what I'm going to pursue. And then kind of doing the page poetry and not just performance pieces.
Nice. And you just touched on a little bit about as well. Um, you said about your mental health. Do you feel like this process where you're in terms of writing and stuff like that is that kind of a positive thing to kind of keep you active and for your well-being? What do you think?
Definitely. The reason why I've written so much in my life is always been something that I've gone back to um, in severe periods of depression. It helps me through it, and it also allows me to turn that depression into creativity. So prior to all of this, my poetry was all very much one theme, and it was always despair. I'd always write about despair in different ways and internal battles, and all my poetry was introspective. Um, so it's always been something, a creative outlet to kind of not get rid of depression, but something to keep your mind alive with while you're going through that period of time, to kind of not let yourself just retreat into a corner and wallow in it, and kind of just use it as something positive instead of just thinking, okay, great, this is a negative thing and I'm just going to have to deal with it. It's like, okay, how can we turn that into a positive thing?
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think a lot of people needed to hear that and just hear just some realness at this time, and not just hear, which has been some amazing poetry and just from different artists, but it's also good to get a bit of perspective where people are and stuff like that. So, big thank you for that. You can mute your mic and just relax
Yeah.
now.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Tom.
Great. Yeah, I hope people enjoyed just a little bit of that conversation. We try and, we're all about people, and we like to connect and understand people better. Um, so hopefully you get to find out a little bit more from our performers as well. If you want to speak to them directly, we are sharing their social media handles, so you can give them the praise that they deserve, let them know, or find out maybe I want to collaborate with them. If you're somewhere up and down the country or not even in this country and you think, you know what, this could be a good idea to connect, why don't you let them know? Just before we get into our next person, it is Anissa's birthday. I've said it already, but this is the founder, the CEO, the big boss, the one that pays me. But it's her birthday today. It's a big 3-0, and I just want to give her a shout out. You don't have to unmute your mics or anything like that, but just kind of, you can say it in your own space. Happy birthday, Anissa. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling fresh, and hope you're enjoying the show. And if you're not, don't fire me, because yeah, I need to get paid. Let's go for the next person. We are gonna make some noise, tap our whatever we're tapping, and click our fingers for Tamira. if you're ready, if you want to unmute your mic.
Hey. Can you hear me?
We hear you good.
Cool. I haven't really titled this piece. I don't really title my poetry pieces, but this is about my then girlfriend. So here it goes. I'm not someone who has all her shit together. Before we happened, I was content, living vicariously through sex without emotions, mediocre interactions where they couldn't appease every aspect of my satisfaction, mental, spiritual, and emotional stimulation. They had either one of three or maximum two of three, but never the full hat trick. It was great for the time being, no confusion, at least on my part. Straight to the point, are we doing this or not? Always at theirs, but never at mine. I didn't need for them to walk around inspecting every asset, acquainting themselves with the art on the walls that couldn't get auctioned, the unfinished wallpaper that's continuously a work in progress, the books that are there for decoration and never been opened or half read, rifling through drawers that rest underneath my chest, my sage, my crystals, my incense, they won't all overstand, holding judgment on the pieces. I couldn't care for them to climb my mountain to have a peek and share their views. I plaster my door with crime scene, do not enter, and send them photos of the yellow tape just so they get the picture. I paint the top of my door with the blood of the lamb to protect my oldest burden, commitment. All of that is not a part of the deal. They're not on the table. I was happy with a half-filled cup and had no intention of filling it up, reaching climax without heartbreak or stolen sips of my cup from the counterpart after the soul energy exchange. Many times of staring at the ceiling after an orgasm or rolling over to the other side to get away from the being that's emptied, attempted to make me calm. Emptiness washes over. Loneliness replaces the vessel next to me. Faces blur, names forgotten. As soon as I reach for the pile of clothes, music stops. And it's always the same offbeat tune playing. Then you came in on an onbeat. Your rhythm is abnormal. It has my heart acting like an old scratch vinyl. It just keeps skipping. I'm fitted with a pacemaker to match your rhythm. I lost my footing on a 3/4 when you waltzed in. You broke it down instead of criticizing my footing. Strangely, you said to yourself, you'll wait, even after I told you about the many dates. I started to get bored of this resort, meeting with strangers, and you've taken me abroad. I'm not used to being loved like this. Your fruit bears strange, foreign lands, but it's still enough to keep Billy on holiday. Expat, retiring her from singing her blues. You've covered the waterfront, leaving no muddy waters. You see my maturity even when you picture my baby face every time you close your eyes. And ever so often I think to myself, where did it go right? And that's that.
Cool.
There's quite a few jazz references at the end if anyone's a jazz head and gets them. So
I was kind of nodding. I was like, yeah, I feel that one.
yeah, you got them. Good.
Did you have another one that you wanted to share, or was that just the main one you wanted to present today?
I've got another one actually that I could share real quick. Let me quickly get it up.
That's fine. Just before you get into that, and while you're searching,
Yeah.
I guess wanted to ask, one, is this your first time at Poetry Jam? First performance?
What's it? Beat Freaks, yeah.
Nice. Do you perform anywhere else at all, or is this just like the first opportunity?
I have performed 2 or 3 times, but it's not something that I do regularly.
Okay.
And I do want to present more stuff.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to get some feedback and coming your way. So
Yeah.
just get your next poems ready, and I think you may have something in this. I really enjoyed what you did. But
Thank you.
if you're ready, go away and just share.
Great. I actually have named this piece. It's called An Ode to Self-Love. But this is the only one that I've titled. And it's about me talking to myself. She stopped talking to me. Our relationship has strained because I refused to listen. I talked her into changing her robe so that average eyes can bear witness to a humanness. I told her to fall in line because I was scared of what she'll do outside the box instead of kicking rocks. I told her she was not of this world. In the most antagonistic way, I invalidated her existence. I told her to dim her light so that others could shine. I should have left her alone in her natural state of mind. Back when she was simplistic with her gifts, bountiful with her incantations, spellbinding smile that adorned the love from the hate that had the power to yield gods at wars to their knees. It was in that moment I saw her. I saw her capabilities and I got scared. Instead of embracing something magical and unique, I was focused on containing it and repackaging it. Now I'm stood on the edge with her, bargaining with her not to jump. And, oh, I'm so sorry. Now I'm stood on the edge with her, bargaining with her not to do it, to leap away from the cusp of me. I'm having to tie her up and bind her down and throw away the key because she is sick of me telling her who's boss. She wants to leave and not look back. And I can't stand to see her diminish into thin air, but she waits and waits and waits to hear all I've got to say. Each word I've spoken done a buckle of the straitjacket I encased her in. I start to see her again. I reacquaint myself with me again. And it was in that moment, once again, she was beauty restored at the gaze of my eye that I can finally see. And she listens empathetically, no longer stood high on that horse that wouldn't even jump off the floor, with forgiveness in her heart, specifically for me, because she's intrinsically associated to me. Sorry, I messed up a couple of times on that one.
No, this is what it's about, man. It's live, it's present, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
Then that's perfectly fine. But a big thank you. Can we just give a big thanks for Tamira?
Thank you for having me. And amazing poems so far. I'm impressed with every single one.
What I'll say to you is, this being your first one, what we all say to people is, I can't wait for this time next year, April 2nd, 2021. And you can say, a year ago, I did my first performance at Poetry Jam, and loads of people will be like, no way, really? Like, you've only done it for a year, you've been doing it, like, you've been so amazing since. And we always get that from people. And I hope this is a good start to your journey, and just more and more kind of like light and love your way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
No, it's okay. Now, kindly mute yourself. And cool. Back to me. I'm going to share something. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to share anything. We have 2 more artists about to take stage just before they go. I was just going to say to just keep plugged in with what we're doing. So if you want to follow us at beatfreaks.com, at beatfreaks.com, I don't know why I said like that, at beatfreaks, we are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok now, for those who are doing them weird dances. I'm not about the all of that stuff. I just like to watch funny videos. But hey, if you want to follow us on that, we are going to be sharing the content. So if you missed anything, if you just tuned in now, we're going to be releasing some of the content that's been put out. Hopefully this YouTube video should be available for people to watch as well. But we're going to be back here next month, to the first Thursday in May, and we have an opportunity just to reach a big audience. And if you want to be a part of that, you can sign up. All you have to do is click on a link. It will just take you to a quick registration form, and we'll give you instructions, and you get to be a bit like one of those performers. Share your heart, share your message, share your story. We'd love to hear from you. Right, so if we're ready for the next, and coming near to the end actually, can we make some noise for Newton? If you'd like to unmute your mic, come forth.
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Brilliant. All right. Can I start or?
Yeah, we're ready.
Brilliant. All right. My poem's called Perfection. And yeah, perfection. It's a word we can all try to attain, but really it's not worth the campaign, as it can only drain us. The pursuit of perfection is the equivalent of asking for rejection, but because of this deep obsession to be something that cannot be achieved. But when we fail, when we miss the mark, we immediately start to question why this deep obsession can lead to one feeling, dejection. Instead of striving to be perfect, we should strive to be ourselves and who we are. But still, this ongoing addiction can tempt us in again, that's the nature of the beast of perfection. It looks to give a false perception of what our lives could be like if we feed off this fake connection. The path we should take shouldn't be one to fix our imperfections, but embrace the collection of features and attributes that make us who we are, for that is where true perfection lies. So let us seek the light and open our eyes. Yeah, that's it. So yeah.
Thank you so much. That was very thought provoking, Newton. I have to say, like, what made you like? What was your inspirations for that?
I think it's just, I don't know. I just thought of a top. I just came off the top of my head. Because I know a lot of people can always strive to be perfect, but really, there's a true meaning to what is it being perfect? And that's just first of all being content with what you have first, and then doing the best that you can do. So
yeah, I think it's really relevant in this time, and actually like a time where people are having to just be grateful for what they have. Also, in terms of like, actually, we're probably going to be on the social media space a lot more in this time, and that was really relevant. So I really appreciate that. Did you have we've got time for just one more before we're going to go and do our clap for NHS and all that jazz. But did you have another poem that you wanted to share, another piece?
No, I didn't know. This was my only one, so
That's not a problem. Is this your first time performing as well?
It is my first time. Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm going to say the same thing that I said to Tamira. Can't wait to see you back next year. I mean, you be coming each other time, hopefully. But I'd love to see you back next year and say, hey, last year, a year ago today, was my first ever time Poetry Jam, and people can be like, what? No way, there's no way. We've been doing this for 15 years. A lot of people that I'm seeing in the comments is saying that you've got a lot of wisdom. It was really like thought provoking. So big up yourself, dust your shoulders off. And yeah, thank you. All right.
Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you very, very much. Cool. We're coming very near to we're coming to the end of what we're doing. So I just want to say a big, big thank you for those who've tuned in. This is our first ever one. Not everything's perfect, but it's been amazing. I'm sure you can agree. We're going to introduce our last poet, and then when they're finished at 8 o'clock, so I'm just giving you that warning. Next artist finish on time. We are going to just do a final clap for the NHS, and then we're going to close. So yeah, two amazing things that are going to be coming up. So can I introduce our final act? And artists, if you want to unmute your mics and just click as this person comes to the stage. Scribings of an blah, let me say that again because I've messed it up already. Scribings of an insomniac. Cool. Whenever you're ready. Oh, I can't. Is your mic muted? Can't hear you at the moment. Let's see if it's working. Doesn't seem to be working just at the moment. Don't worry. I mean, your background looks really great. Do you want to? What we can do, we can just try and come back to you, and if you want to just try and see if it can work out, and we will do that. Cool. As things happen, technical difficulties happen. That's just life. Things happen, but hopefully everybody is enjoying what's happening so far. I was gonna say I want to read through the comments, but that's probably a bit long to do. What I might try and do in the meantime is maybe just bring maybe one of the performers back in. I was just wondering if I could speak to. Oh, she's joined back in. Let's just try one more time. I feel like a YouTuber. Scribings of an insomniac. Can we hear you? We can't hear you at this moment. I'm so sorry. You're gonna call in? You got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, boy. Is it working? 1 second. That's cool. what I think would be good to do is bring just someone from our team, Chloe, if you're good, just to kind of.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be good to bring you in and just introduce yourself to everybody. You look quite relaxed, but hopefully, how are you finding tonight?
Yeah, I'm finding it great, thank you. I feel like I've got the most chill job out of everyone at the moment.
Tell us a little bit about because you've been in posts for Beat Freaks for what, coming to 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you do. I think it'd be really important so that people can engage with you. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm a Beat Freaks community engager. So I work directly with Tom, and my job is to essentially help you connect with communities, help you grow as people, and also to support everyone in their development. So it's super, super important for me to get to know you all a lot more, and I'm super excited over the next few weeks to start meeting you all properly once I can.
Guys, can you hear me now?
But there we go. But until that happens, until I can see you all, it would be amazing if you're watching this or if you're in the chat, if you could all just drop me an intro email so that I can get to know who you are. So my email is spelled the most basic way ever, so Chloe, and it's just chloe@beatfreaks.com. So there we go. And before I jump off, I'd like to say a big thank you to Tom for hosting tonight. So can we get a little? Can everyone unmute and do clicks for Tom because he's done a great job.
Oi.
Yeah, big up to Tom.
This is a very good man.
Yeah. So if anyone would like to drop me an email just saying what you're interested in and how we can help you, I'll get back to you and I'll see what we can plug you with, because here at Beat Freaks we just want people to grow and we want our community to thrive and everyone to grow as people.
Cool. Thanks for that, Chloe.
Talk over. That was so long.
Cool. So what we're gonna do, I'm just conscious of the time and I want to make sure we get in. Kohinoor, are we? Should we give you a try? Do you want to unmute your mic?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay.
Hi, people. Hi, Earthlings. Peace, love, and light to everyone. I hope everyone's staying safe and sending healing and love out to everyone. So my name is Kohinoor, and I've been writing since I was 8 years old. And yeah, so this is like my third time performing. And my page is called Scribings of an Insomniac because I am a chronic insomniac. Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight into it because we don't have much time. Okay, this one's called Forest Honey. Forest Honey Eyes. I look at her and I'm engulfed by her fiercely wild spirit, wandering, carefree, resilient. She is a reflector of my mirror within me. Sorry. She is a reflector of the mirror within me. Is this what he sees when he looks back at me? These thoughts take me back to that train to Boston. Forest Honey, he murmurs, more to himself than me. That's my favorite eye, he smirks, shyly as he points and gently taps the arch near my left eyebrow. Sunset honeydew. An octave just above a whisper escapes my lips. What was that? He tilts his head to the right slightly and arches his eyebrows, smiling dashingly. I repeat the exact motions as him. This one. This is my favorite eye. The reaching and touching of skin on his face ignites a fire in me that I'd feared to kindle. Embers brew and brim. I am fascinated by him. I hide, but eyes do tell. He is consumed by me, though he masks it well. I observe the unraveling of his intimate myoidris. Can't say that word. A sacred moment, if ever I witnessed one. I am coming undone by his gaze, almost untethered. I break away from his gaze, forcing meiosis back, some semblance of rationale. The swaddling safety of sweet meiosis. I am left with the dreams of our souls merging as one. Mirrors to our souls, kindling of embers, scorching passion, brimming over, closing this distance in our echo chamber. What would we create with the entwining of our kindred spirits? What would she look like? this child of ours if I dived into his iris. Fireflies, forest honey, sunset honeydew, twin flames. Yep, so that was the first one.
Thank you. What we'll do, Kohinoor, is we'll just do a short break just so we can clap for the NHS, and then we'll come right back to you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everyone will mute their mics and just give a big appreciation to the NHS. Thank you so much. Wow, that is perfectly fine. Yeah, we just want to say a big thank you to the NHS, all its workers, its staff, everybody involved on the front line. That includes cleaners, that includes people who are maintaining and supporting people out there who need that support. Oh, we've got someone coming into the chat. And yeah, we just want to give a big shout out to them. We thank you so much. I've got friends, relatives. My mom's working, and NHS is working long hours, and just giving a big salute. Oh, it's my mom's birthday as well, so a big shout out to my mom. Mom, I love you. Kohinoor, do you want to just unmute your mic and come back with your second one?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Just before you get back into your one, I'm just allowing just for people to kind of sit down, because I feel like probably people might be clapping a little bit longer.
Okay, cool.
It'd be cool just to tell us a little bit about, like you said, this is your third performance, and I know that you do a lot of spoken words like that. So I thought it'd be good to speak a little bit about your journey.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a mother of 3 and I'm a homeschooler. And yes, I've always written as an outlet for like my anxiety and my body dysmorphia and my eating disorders. And I've grown up with like a schizophrenic mother, so mental health kind of runs in the family. But writing has always been my outlet, and I've never lost sight of that. Like even when I've been at my worst. And if you go through my scribings page, a lot of what I've written has been during an induced like panic attack or anxiety attack. First thing I do is get a pen and just write, or type it up on my phone. And yeah, writing is life. Words are life. Words are all we have, and our words hold power. And also to anyone suffering from like feeling inadequate or just bullying or any sort of like feeling inadequacy, like just know that the words of others cannot have power unless you give them the power. Okay, so take back your words, take back your name.
Nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
So we just in the moment of people clapping and just cheering out. And again, I just want to give some homage to NHS and its carers and all
definitely.
its so a big thank you.
And happy birthday to Anissa as well, our founder. Yes.
And my mom as well, because
and your mum, of course.
Cool. Do you want to get back into your final?
Yeah. So this is my my other piece, and I think given, because I asked the rest of our scribe tribe like which one shall I read, and everyone said this one because it's like about hope and like, oh, people are just messaging me, sorry. Okay, this one's called Nation and Tribes, and it's based around a line from the Quran. And so yeah, let's just get into it. God did not create us in one singular form. Our being is not linear. He molded us into thinkers, dreamers, carers, givers, advisors, creators, inventors, warriors, soldiers, counselors, royals, paupers, monarchs, healers, optimists, idealists, singers, poets, lovers, artists, laborers, leaders, keepers, guardians, sinners, believers, transgressors, oppressors, victims, survivors. And then he divided us into nations and tribes so that we may learn to live amongst one another and learn to love and nurture, to protect and forgive, and stand with, stand against, lead, heal, and direct. So who were you before the storms, and who are you now after the seas have calmed and the winds have abated? Peace, love, and light, everyone. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Can we just give some click to
all the click?
Amazing. I did say it was our last one. If everyone wants to just mute their mics, we have I think we do. We should have Humza Dolvi in the chat. Humza, if you want to unmute your mic, if you know how. Are you able to unmute your mic, Humza?
So have I done it now?
Perfect. That sounds really, really great. Can people just do some nice clicks for Humza as he just prepares himself?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm late, by the way.
Hey, it's all right. Better late than never, and we appreciate you coming through. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the floor to you, and then we'll jump back in. So you've got the option to do 2 pieces if you want to do that. Okay. So you've got 6 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. So the first one I'll do. It's one I wrote for Islamophobia Awareness Month. So I'll just share that one with you first. We are living in uncertain times. The end is near. We can see the signs. A world where hatred is justified. Like a poison that pollutes the mind, penetrates the eyes and makes them blind. Ignorance reigns supreme, intelligence is undermined, and we're just searching for peace, but it's so hard to find. Because before you even speak, your role has been assigned. You're a terrorist, a threat to this country. You shouldn't be inside with your barbaric ways and your violent crimes. Like vermin, you need extermination. You're everything wrong with this great nation. A simple fact, you're not Caucasian, whether you're black or Asian, Arab, Albanian, this country isn't for you. Go back to where you came from. And if you're a Muslim woman, you are most unwelcome here. The hijab that you wear puts them in perpetual fear. Afraid of your modest dress, the elegance you possess, whatever you do, they're so obsessed, their favorite line is you're oppressed. While they continue to mock, harass, and ridicule. Muslim kids bullied in school. Teachers inciting this hatred, fanning the flames, radicalism at its finest. But we can't use that name because that's reserved for the men with beards. The women with that scarf and the head that looks so weird, they are the people who need to be feared. Unless, of course, their winning gold medals are on your track, they're British then, not Muslim or black, because we are only valued when we achieve. But for the Muslims who struggle to read, the ones who can't run, jump, or bake on TV, you still need to question their humanity. Subjecting them to profanity, abusing them and their family, attacking so savagely, this is insanity. Why can't we all treat each other with respect? Really, is that too much to expect? Imagine feeling unsafe in your own home, always looking back as you walk down the road, get home before dark and never walk alone. See, we need to come together and find a resolution. And you are part of the problem if you're not part of the solution, but we do not need a revolution. We simply need a substitution. Get rid of the hate, let go of the pain. If you want to see a change, then treat everyone the same. So that's the first one. Another one I'll do. How's the sound anyways? Is that sound and everything okay?
Everything's sounding great. It is a little bit different and a bit weird not to have an audience click and clap for you, but you are doing perfectly fine. I will let you know. I'll be like, listen, shut up. Yeah. So you're okay. Go for it.
Which one should I do? Alright, I barely cry and sometimes I wish that I could. Let everything out, react in the way that I should, but I never show emotion. I know that's not good, but here I'm stood and I understand. That expression doesn't make you less of a man, so I do cry when I can. I cry for those in distant lands, I cry. And put my face in my hands, I cry. And put my faith in his hands. And I try to do as much as I can, but I need to sit down and make a plan. I need to think about my next move. What am I about to do? Because I'm not doing this for me, not doing this for you, not doing this for likes, not doing this for views. But I need to check my intentions, stop and review. Because I want to make a change with these words that I say, but I'm stuck in a cage, lost in a maze. I feel like a slave, bound by some chains. Because I can write a new poem every week. I can get out there, use my voice to speak, but really, what does it achieve? Because Muslims still get killed out on the street. And there's people out there with no food to eat, people dying in Kashmir and Palestine still isn't free. And I call all this a tragedy, condemn all this travesty, but what do I do in reality? Because when it gets dark, I just sleep, close my eyes so I can't see. The truth is, I can't do everything by myself. And I want to make a change, but I need some help because I feel their hurt, I feel their pain. But if I'm alone, is it all in vain? Is this all a waste of time? Is there a point to these rhymes? Will anything change while I'm alive? Will the world get better or will it decline? Are these the last years? The end of the line? Or am I too negative? And will it all be fine? Will there be a world without any crime where everyone can live, not just get by? Where people on the ground will aim for the sky, no more weapons, no more fights, and everyone's a star, they shine so bright, out of the darkness into the light. But this starts with us. We need to do what's right. And you won't change the world on your own. But if we come together, we can save our home. And that does not mean that you're insignificant. Never doubt your own ability because you are brilliant and it won't be easy, so be resilient. Give it your all and don't be half-hearted. If you ever feel like giving up, remember where it started. If you ever feel like giving up, remember why you started. Because change does not happen in the blink of an eye. Wars aren't won with just one fight. So if you want to see a difference, go out there and make it. It won't just come to you, so go out there and chase it. Whatever your dream is, make sure you embrace it. And if the world is broken, get out there and change it. Fight for what you believe in every single day. It doesn't matter what other people say, people will always hate. And pay no heed to social media, because you are not a follower, you are a leader. So use your voice to inspire, and use their silence to fuel your fire. Do not get it confused. Their silence is a weapon, locked and loaded, used to shift our attention, making headlines change. From being about 49 Muslims dying, they focused on a leader and called him inspiring. So we need to be the voice in these times of silence. We need to call out the injustice, all the acts of violence, and we need to speak out in the face of these tyrants. We need to talk about what's happening to Muslims in China. Kept in concentration camps, is that just fine now? And Muslims massacred in Mali, but that doesn't make news. And everyone goes crazy over a new pair of shoes, and the media don't care. They just pick and choose, go for the story that will get the most views. But I pray that one day this changes, and I hope that day is soon. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Hunter. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you just want to unmute our mic to just give Hamza the clicks that he deserves. I really love your perspective and just doing something different. It was really, really great, and I really appreciate you coming through. Even at the last minute, you came in and you brought it home for us. Cool. So thank you so much. If you just want to mute your mic, that would really be appreciated. Cool. So thank you everybody that's been watching. It's been an amazing evening. If you want to join and be a performer next time, if you want to tune in, just watch again. You can catch us on the first Thursday of every month. We'll be putting out a sign up link for people who want to perform, and we have up to 20 slots. And you have the opportunity to share your work and your piece. Thank you so much for tuning in. And just a few shout outs. Thank you for the Beat Freaks team. Thank you for the performers who have come and just shared for the first time. This is the first time we've ever done this online, and they've been amazing at just bringing that. And we also want to thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I think I said that already, so I think I'm going to shut up now. A big thank you, and take care.